going to introduce none other than our very own Bishop William Brown. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, hallelujah. I hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful week and a wonderful, wonderful day as well. It's always exciting to come on and be fed during midweek manna. I can't remember the last time I had midweek manna where I taught, but it's truly a blessing to be able to have the opportunity on tonight to be able to teach during midweek manna. We've had some awesome, powerful teachings during midweek manna from so many of our leaders, and looking forward to others that will come and share and be used by the power of the Ruach. And so I'm excited. It's been exciting for our Monday prayer call. I mean, just truly a blessing to be able to be in part and be involved with so much that we have, so much growth and things like that is taking place within the ministry. And so I'm excited about it, and I hope that you are as excited as I am. Some things that we thought was to kill us and take us out was actually used as a tool to prepare us, develop us, and strengthen us for times that we're in right now. It's so much going on right now. We got the election. It's not even here as far as the election, just the candidates. It's so much warfare with that. And so tonight I want to talk about that. I want to get into even more conversation as the Ruach is leading us down even a more path of conversation for the last probably 6 months. I've been into a lot of understanding between the spirit world and the soul. And most of you have heard me talk about this at some point in time. If I've been in contact with you, whether if I come to Kentucky, whether if I've been to Houston or wherever, I've been dropping nuggets about this soul and this spirit realm. And we've been talking about different things like that as far as on Shabbat here in Atlanta. And so I want to prepare us. I think it's a place and that everybody talks about, but many have yet tapped into the depths of understanding the difference between what's going on in the spirit world and within the soul. And I think that those are two areas of very much importance as we continue to go down this stretch, because as times get darker, the Bible tells us that men's hearts will wax cold. Well, what is we're talking about? Hearts. Is it talking about the physical heart where the heart is beating, or is it talking about something else where it's talking about the heart? Most of us have within this community have taken and have applied the heart to solely, exclusively to the mind. But I really want us to really understand that there's certain contexts and understanding when it comes down to certain sayings and terms and words within our theology that we have to really truly understand when it comes down to dealing with these matters. And so men's heart will wax cold, meaning that the soul of men will become so dark to the point to where spirits have inhabited these men's soul to where there's no love that is taking place, meaning that it's hard for the love of the spirit of the love or the love of the spirit to get into that place of residence so that it can be manifested outwardly through the person that would show compassion, meaning that men's heart will wax cold, meaning that their spirit man will lose conviction, meaning that the things that they see as being right, the things that they view as being right would actually be wrong. The things that will be wrong will actually be right. Why? Because when the soul loses faculties to distinguish the difference between what's righteous and what's not, then those things in which the spirits have made a resting place in will make the decisions for you. And therefore, if you have the spirit of lust, then you will operate in that area. If you have the spirit of hate, you will operate in that area. If you have the spirit of envy, you will operate in that area. You will not have any control over why you do what you do. And there was a movie that came out a couple of years ago that was called The Manchurian Candidate. And so when you look at these things and how this particular individual could not control himself, but yet there were sources that were controlling him and making him do certain things that he didn't know that he was doing. Why? Simply because he was tapped into, or simply because they had put something embedded in him to make the decisions when it was time for it to be done, whether it was to kill somebody, whether it was to do whatever it was. He had no control over himself. Here's the case in point. When it comes down to men losing the love, therefore they will become Manchurian candidates by these spirits that are dwelling in the earth that have taken over men. And I want you to understand that the Bible has been telling us this, that in each one of these particular principalities or each one of these kingdoms, we looked at this the other day. These kingdoms on Sunday, when we looked at these kingdoms, are being controlled, operated by dark forces that people don't understand. They think that this is the actual person. Oh, that person made a bad decision. Oh, that person did it. How could they do that? Well, you have to understand there's jurisdictions. There's different types of spirits that are running around. The man who had legions had these spirits running around that inhabited him. It's the same thing that we're seeing today. So therefore, you have to guard yourself, gird yourself, get in prayer, get in fasting to understand this thing. Listen, I don't know how much more that I can sound the alarm to you. I don't know how much more that I can sound the alarm to you that you are in a battle that you cannot use physical carnal weapons to win. Everybody want to go to the gun range. Hey, I have no problem with you being owning a firearm and defending yourself. But the issue here is that the type of war that is taking place that the Bible teaches us about, that you cannot use physical carnal weapons to think it's going to solve a spiritual problem. And what's going on is that the weapon of mass destruction has become fear. Fear is the weapon of mass destruction. I'm already preaching. I ain't even got into the message. I'm gonna let the Most High. We're gonna ride this. I hope you're riding with me tonight. I ain't gonna keep it too long, but we're gonna get in and tap into this thing so we can really get some understanding. Fear. I'm watching and I'm seeing so many people. And I love to talk about us. I don't talk about folks outside the house more than I talk about what's going on in the house, especially if the house not right. So in the past, people have interpreted my conversation and my correction, reproofing and rebuking of our community as a tool or a weapon to say that I'm against our community, but love outsiders more. No, that's not the point. The point is the Bible tells us that if we're going to say this book is about us and this Bible is about us, then we got to talk about our issues. We got to talk about the issues that is going on in all of these assemblies and congregations. We got to talk about the lust. We got to talk about the pornography. We got to talk about the homosexuality. We got to talk about all of these things. Yeah, you keep Torah, but you are homosexual too. Yeah, you keep Torah, but yet still you can't find yourself not touching something that don't belong to you. And we have to really get this thing understood. Everybody ain't into polygamy because they just want another woman. Some women want their husbands to have polygamous relationships because they're trying to hide their homosexual spirit that has tapped into the depths of their soul, and nobody has the ability to get down into their soul because nobody wants to rebuke anybody in this community. We have no leaders. I said it. We have no leaders. We have no councils. We say that we follow the scriptures. They had leaders and councils. It's a free for all. And when it's a free for all, it gives spirits the opportunity to run crazy, run rampant. Nobody wants to rebuke. Nobody wants to correct. And how can you have love if you view rebuking as a tool of not loving? We got a problem. Good is evil and evil is good has been plaguing this community.